So in this next block, we've got Matt Orfalea and we got Matt Walsh. And we also have the guy that Matt Walsh plays, who sometimes is also named Matt and has a bun and a very bad, poor-fitting wig, which anybody should have seen from the get-go, which is part of the shtick, I think. Like, he's saying, I'm impersonating you, but I'm not doing a very good job of it, and you can call me out on it anytime you want, but they never did, which is the hilarious part. But they'll do so afterwards. Like, some of the people you're going to hear about in these clips, they have come out with public statements, and they're like, we knew, and blah, blah, whatever. It's a remarkable part of the documentary history of the 21st century thus far that he's had to make a movie called What is a Woman? And now he has made a movie called Am I Racist? And he's trying to find out in a way that communicates better than most people's blogs. So let's go to the next video block. We've got Matt Orfalea, Matt Walsh here to help us see more clearly in the world.
Biden's fiery State of the Union address.
I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward.
He was absolutely on fire.
Joe Biden was on fire.
You were on fire.
You brought that Irish fire tonight.
Fired us all up.
Biden was on fire.
At the top of his game.
He's on fire.
Smoking. He's on fire.
Robust and clear.
Join us so light as Latoya Beasley. Emboldening others to do what they wish. Big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws to make sure everyone has a fair shot. RGTP is up. I believe Roe v. Wade got it right. Guarantee the right to ABF so builders can get federally financing. Federal is over $1 trillion. $1 million. Millions of families can get. They need to go to work watching auto jobs in the future to instigate the collection.
Joe Biden's fiery and energetic performance.
Fiery and energetic.
Fiery and energetic.
Energetic and fiery.
Energetic and fiery.
Fiery, energized.
That fiery energy.
Biden was energetic and fiery.
High energy and fiery.
He had that fire in the belly. Right? I mean, he had that fire in the belly.
Stamina and the fire in the belly.
He clearly has the stamina.
He has the stamina and the energy.
The fire in the belly.
To show that he has the energy and the fire in the belly to serve another term.
To pursue a career of service.
And none of us are talking about age this morning because of the fiery performance.
Look, people have had a lot of questions about President Biden, whether it's about his age or ability, but I think he put those to rest last night. I think it was fiery.
Very fiery.
It was forceful.
Forceful. Fiery, forceful, and fiery. State of the Union.
Forceful.
Biden was forceful.
Joe Biden forcefully answered the pundits who say he is too old.
Anyone who watched that speech saw Biden is strong.
His voice was strong. So strong.
Very strong.
He seemed to get stronger.
Like the stronger he is, the stronger he gets.
Strong at the beginning, strong in the middle, strong at the end.
Strongest speech.
Really projected strength. With strength. Pretty strong. Strong and boisterous.
Very strong.
Really strong.
Biden proved he has the strength and mental agility to be an effective president.
President Biden's fiery State of the Union speech.
The man Trump belittles as Sleepy Joe seemed quite fiery.
So much for Sleepy Joe.
He wasn't Sleepy Joe Biden, but he was fiery.
President Biden's fiery.
Fiery State of the Union address.
And if you watch that speech, you'd have no doubts Biden is going to win this election and then have a great second term.
There is no other path that guarantees that Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity.
I thought he was extraordinary in terms of articulating.
It's transformative in humanitarian crisis. Overwhelmingly benefit the top 1%.
Biden articulating very clear.
Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages, laying down arms, could end it by releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering.
He could not have made it clearer. He could not have done it better. And he did an unbelievable job last night.
Well, I've always known what endures toward an enduring, something more enduring.
So powerful. So powerful.
I would respectfully suggest my Republican friends, my God, what freedom else would you take away?
Very powerful last night.
He feels political win. He viewed it to be a political win for me.
One of the finest moments of Joe Biden's presidency.
The leadership of Israel, I say this. I'd be a winner, not really.
The incumbent president shows no signs of slowing down.
Biden's commanding and energetic speech.
Energetic and fiery.
Fiery and energetic State of the Union.
Fiery and energetic.
Fiery.
Fiery, often combative speech.
often combative speech.
Fiery and at times combative.
Fiery and at times combative speech.
At times combative speech.
Fiery and combative. Fiery, combative.
He was fiery, he was combative. It was even combative. And fiery, this fire, incredibly feisty, fiery President Biden.
But Israel has a
fiery speech.
A fiery address.
Fiery.
Fiery speech.
That fiery speech.
Fiery President Biden.
Fired up. Fired up.
Fiery State of the Union address.
President Biden fired up. Very fired up. President Biden definitely fired up.
Fired up.
Fired up.
Biden.
Fired up.
Fired up. To fire up.
President Biden's
Fiery State of the Union.
Fiery State of the Union address.
Fiery State of the Union.
Fiery State of the Union
That
address.
speech was still very fiery. Very fiery.
Fiery State of the Union.
President Biden was quite fiery.
Fiery.
The president's fiery.
Fiery.
And fiery spirit.
Delivering a fiery State of the Union address. Fiery State of the Union address. Off to a fiery start. Often fiery. President Biden was fiery, delivering a fiery address.
Fiery. President Biden.
Fiery. Downright fiery.
Fiery
State of the Union address.
That was a remarkable, fiery, vigorous guy.
It was a vigorous speech. He was vigorous.
Vigorous.
He certainly was vigorous.
Very vigorous.
Vigorous and fierce.
The vigor in his voice. He was vigorous. The vigor.
There was no question that he was vigorous.
Yeah, there's no question. That was a vigorous, fiery speech from President Biden. He was on fire. He was on fire last night. That kind of fiery way. Fiery. He's fiery Joe. Keep being fiery.
He was fiery. Fiery. Joe Biden, comfortable, fiery, dominant.
After a fiery State of the Union address.
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 Fiery State of the Union address. Fiery State of the Union address. Fiery State of the Union address. Fiery State of the Union. Fiery State of the Union.
President Biden delivers a fiery State of the Union address.
Fiery State of the Union address.
Fiery State of the Union speech. He was fiery. Fiery.
Fiery. He hit it out of the park.
He knocked it out of the park. Home run.
The president knocked the speech out of the park. He was fiery.
and our ability to have children in the future were at risk.
That was just one of President Joe Biden's many fiery messages from his fiery State of the Union address.
Fiery President Joe Biden.
Biden delivering a
Fiery State of the Union.
Fiery Joe Biden
delivered a fiery State of the Union address. That fiery State of the Union address.
A fiery President Biden
delivered a fiery State of the Union address. His very fiery State of the Union address.
President Joe Biden came out fiery.
came out fired up.
Fiery and forceful.
Fiery Joe Biden unleashes a
fiery State of the Union.
A fiery State of the Union address.
Fiery 67 minutes.
President Biden delivered a fiery State of the Union address.
A fiery and at times combative
Fiery State of the Union address.
delivering a fiery message.
Fiery, fierce, and fiery.
A fiery State of the Union address.
Fiery State of the Union address.
A fiery speech. Fiery speech.
Fiery State of the Union speech. His fiery speech.
Fiery speech, the Democrats hope, will put to rest questions about his age and energy.
He is 82 years old, but
He was fiery tonight.
I know their 98-year-old guy that I work with, and he's answers his own phone and runs his own business. I mean, so he did a good job tonight.
President Biden dispelled the narrative that he's too old with a fiery State of the Union.
Fiery, 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 fiery,
Instead of paying politics, a transformational moment in history happened 59 years ago today. But if it's only 6 weeks, and my message to transgender Americans
Apparently, the word of the night and still this morning seems to be fiery.
Yeah.
Let's be clear what's happening in this country. It's Nazism. Republicans are Nazis. You cannot separate yourselves from the bad white people.
Growing up in the 90s, I never thought much about race. Sure, you noticed, but never really seemed to matter that much, at least not to me.
Being a white, straight, cisgender man, it's the top of the pile.
I'm on the top of the pile. That's me. Am I? racist.
I would really appreciate it if you left.
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
Can you please leave?
If I'm going to sort this out, I need to go deeper undercover. If I want to be an ally, I need to look like one.
What is racism?
Martin Luther King said not to judge people by the...
Martin Luther King said a lot of stuff.
Is America inherently racist?
What the hell is that?
The word inherent is challenging there. America is racist to its bones. All of the...
So inherently.
Yeah.
The entire system has to burn. And I'm not going to even use save this country. This country is not worth saving. This country is a piece of shit.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
They gonna say I'm racist.
Joining us now is Matt, certified DEI expert.
Here's my certification. Where are you guys in your anti-racist journeys? So I'll look around the room and point to who we believe is the most racist person in the room. We want to rename the George Washington Monument to the George Floyd Monument. Would you mind signing it? You will? What do you think about this issue of heteronormativity and how it intersects with the broader structures of racism in society?
They gonna say I'm racist.
What's up with white people? What are you doing to decenter your whiteness?
Who's making it the center? Why are they doing that?
And what you're doing is you're stretching out of your whiteness. This is more for you in this field. White
Folks.
White.
Trash. White supremacy. White woman. White boy.
White.
Entitlement.
White.
Centering.
White.
Silence.
Is there a black person around here?
There's a black person right here. Does he not exist?
They gonna say I'm racist, but they call everybody racist.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. And what's your name?
I'm Matt.
Matt. Hi, Matt.
Nice to meet you.
I just had to ask who you are because you have to be careful.
Never be too careful.
They gonna say you racist, but they call everybody racist.
I used to be a white woman, an unsuccessful one, for many decades, and it was a miserable experience. And really, the hatred of yourselves and each other is like the not seeing your power, the being afraid. Like, all you do is talk shit about each other, talk shit about yourself. Oh my God, I'm so fat.
That's all they do. I'm telling you, these white women.
But that's it. It's I'm so fat, I'm so stupid, I'm blah blah blah.
Sorry.
Your kids are watching you, and they're watching you talking shit about each other, raging against the machine or being silent or whatever the hell it is that you're doing or not doing, and they know that you're not doing shit for them.
That's so important. That is so important what you just said. It's really important. That's all.
We may have to add you to our team.
Oh, I would love to take a seat and join you.
No, you're not allowed to.
Okay.
Definitely not allowed.
Okay. I do have my DEI certification that I got.
Okay.
So, not saying I'm an expert, but I'm also not a novice. So, okay.
White people are starved for these conversations.
We are. Yeah. We're so starving.
Yeah.
We are so starving for this.
Anyone else want to say anything?
I'll just say one thing. I'm so glad we can have these conversations, and I'll be done. But I'm just so glad that we could all get together to have these conversations. That's all I wanted to say.
Is he an actor? Are you an actor?
Oh, no.
Can you let us, we're trying to listen and trying to have this conversation.
Okay, we're all acting all the time in our lives. And I think that's part of the problem, That it's like we're all trying to play a part rather than just being real and having these uncomfortable conversations. And that's what I'm always trying to tell people, especially, white women. No offense, but...
No, but see, like, you're a white dude. There's power positions, and it's pointing white people pointing fingers at each other is not helpful.
I've been on this journey for so long, and just to see you guys at the table having this conversation has been really enlightening for me. Anyway, I got the DEI certification, and I'm just on the journey. All right, you ladies have a great night.
Decolonize yourself. Right. Do your own white supremacy dismantling, and then you can start to bring in other people.
Can I just say one last thing? Can I just propose a toast? Just raise a glass if you're racist, and that's the thing.
Cheers. Oh, I'm not racist. Let me.
To racist. Well, all the rest of them. To racist.
Am I Racist? Rated PG-13. Buy tickets now.
We had the story from the New York Post. Matt Walsh, in his new film, Am I Racist? This one, I think, may be better than What is a Woman? He hits this one out of the park. He tricked race, academic, whatever you want to call it, critical race theorist or whatever, Robin DiAngelo, into paying his black producer reparations. Apparently, she pulls money out and gives it to him. Oh, man. But you know what's really funny about this is I don't think she'll face any criticism on the left for this. She's going to be praised for having done it. From the New York Post. White fragility author Robin DiAngelo was hoodwinked into dipping into her own pocketbook to pay reparations to a black producer in it's so racist. In Matt Walsh's upcoming documentary, Am I Racist? An undercover man bun wearing Walsh, 38. What, Matt Walsh is 38? Really? Is he really? He's 38. What, Matt Walsh is younger than me? What? That's the biggest shock I've heard. Not the story. It's that Matt Walsh is 3 months younger than me. Woof. I'm sorry. It's the Korean in me. I just can't grow the beard. So anyway, Matt Walsh goaded DiAngelo into ponying up the cash to his producer, Ben, to compensate for the sins of the past by first coughing up the money himself. Walsh, who had been conducting an interview with DiAngelo for a documentary project while feigning anti-racist sentiments and posing as an activist, summoned Ben after finishing up most of his questions. This is Ben, a producer on the film. I thought it would be a powerful opportunity to speak directly to a person of color and confront our racism and also apologize for the white supremacist system that oppresses Ben, Walsh began. Look at his pants. He's in disguise. DiAngelo, 68, followed suit saying, on behalf of myself and my fellow white people, I apologize. It's not you, it is us. As long as I am standing, I will do my best to challenge it. Walsh then announced that he'd pay Ben reparations if he'd accept it. Prompting his producer to quip, I mean, I won't turn it down. Walsh then handed Ben a few bills from his wallet. That doesn't make up for 400 years of oppression, but it's all that I have to give, Walsh said. Taking hold of the new cash padding his wallet, Ben, fully in on the ruse, explained that he doesn't know if it's ever enough, but praised Walsh for putting in the work and acknowledged the small progress I think we made today. DiAngelo looked introspective and bewildered as it unfolded. That was really weird, a perplexed and nearly speechless DiAngelo gasped before formulating a response after Walsh asked, did you want to pay any? I think reparations is like a systemic, dynamic approach yet. I mean, I think there may be some people who would be offended by that. Ben explained that he wouldn't turn down cash. A solemn-looking Walsh then stressed the need to allow ourselves to be uncomfortable. Wow, man, bravo. This is something that I can do right now, and asked, why wouldn't I? I can go get some cash for sure. She relented after struggling to beat back Walsh and Ben's logic. I don't mind if that would be something that would be comfortable for you. After getting Ben's blessing, DiAngelo then walked over to her pocketbook, pulled out roughly $30 and told him, that's all the cash that I have. Holy crap. Thanks, a smiling Ben replied. When DiAngelo sat down with Walsh earlier in the documentary, she asked for quick information about who he was, noting that she has to be careful. DiAngelo's book, White Fragility, Why Is It So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism, hit bookshelves back in 2018 and helped her gain fame as a so-called anti-bias training expert. The New York Times best-selling tome features some controversial assessments of racism. She claimed that white people raised in Western society are conditioned into a white supremacist worldview because it is the bedrock of our society and its institutions. At another point, she wrote in the book, people of color may also hold prejudices and discriminate against white people, but they lack the social and institutional power that transform their prejudice and discrimination into racism. The impact of their prejudice on whites is temporary and contextual. Ironically, back in 2021, DiAngelo scored $12,750, a speaking fee, at the University of Wisconsin's Diversity Forum, considerably more than the $7,500 paid to its black female keynote speaker, Austin Channing Brown. Ain't that funny? More recently, DiAngelo has faced accusations of plagiarizing passages from minority scholars in her doctoral thesis, according to a complaint obtained by the Washington Free Beacon. We'll grab that one. The Post reached out to D'Angelo for comment. Walsh's documentary is set to hit the silver screen on September 13th and marks the Daily Wire's first flick to release in movie theaters. I think What is a Woman was in theaters, wasn't it? The film is intended to function as a deconstruction of the anti-racism movement, similar to how its 2022 documentary, What is a Woman, examined gender ideology under a critical lens. He went undercover and feigned a deep search into his soul to investigate the movement. Walsh's documentary also featured him crashing a high-dollar race to dinner in which he cajoled liberal white women at the table to raise their glasses and toast to being racist. Yo, this one's looking really good. It looks like it's going to be bigger and better than What is a Woman? And this is probably one of the best things that Daily Wire has done. The Daily Wire is trying to get in the culture game, and they need to, because someone's got to build it. They've got better cultural values than the institutions. And with What is a Woman, Matt has probably done more to call out the absurdity of woke gender ideology than anyone else. And with Am I Racist, it looks like they're set to do something similar for this quote-unquote anti-racist, end quote, well, already quote-unquote anti-racist movement, which it's literally just racism. They try to change the definition of the words so that they can create racial animosity. I'll tell you what I want. I want a big, beautiful American melting pot, but it's got to be under the American umbrella. Okay, so if you were, as I mentioned earlier, okay, I am older than Matt Walsh. I did not know that. But because I am part Asian, I cannot grow the beard. I lament this fact. I'm half kidding, although Matt has a stylish beard.
All right, good. Pull it.
I grew up at a time where...
That's enough of Tim's beard envy.
I don't think he can grow the hair either. Oh,
jeez. Well, you... are a man who's follically challenged in some ways.
I am too. Hey, I empathize.
You can relate to Tim.
That's why it's like, I'm allowed to say it because I also am of that category. So you're
in the club. You can talk about it.
I can use the word. I can say the word.
Yeah. All right. So, there's more to that story, but I haven't seen the movie yet, so I'm just letting you guys know it's out there, and there's a phenomenon, and people are hating on it. And Matt Walsh loves it when people hate on his stuff. Like he's a good example of what I call the pulley technique. Like somebody is sending you a force, but you've got this pulley on your chest, and you use that force to move yourself forward through the terrain. So they're actually providing you, like they're building the road for you to go, so you don't have to like break trail. It's beautiful. So I like his strategy. Everything's a win on his side. He's able to take those criticisms and be like, hey, these people criticizing me don't even know how to speak our language. So how much do you want to trust their criticism? Once he breaks it down like that, it's hilarious. So there's a couple of those videos that went along his news feed this week that I found, and I thought was appreciative of.
Twice a year, I teach a course called Autonomy. It's a 12-week course. It teaches leadership, entrepreneur skills, executive skills, all these types of things that I saw were taken out of our education system in order to make the schooling or indoctrination system that we've all probably went through. And it has served us well enough to be interchangeable cogs in the machine of the globalists. But if we want a homestead, if we want write our own ticket, work from home job, work from anywhere type of situation, they're not exactly handing those out at the end of college. They give you a piece of paper and they're like, good luck. So reality is dropping us off here, but the demands of reality are up here. So I created Autonomy to help people close that gap for themselves so they can level up their skills to the demands of the situations that life is putting in front of us presently. Life's demands of intellect and understanding precision and complexity are ever increasing. The schooling didn't prepare us for it. The media is not going to do anything but reinforce what schooling prepared us for. And so we're going to have to take a leadership position and take steps off the beaten path to kind of blaze our own trail in life. What makes the Grand Theft World podcast unique, invigorating, exciting, and informative? Most other podcasts out there are either doing straight up interviews or they're just covering the daily news. They're covering current events from the day they happen. And that is effective. It's useful. It's a great starting point. And then sometimes these current events change during the week past the first story. So we like to give it a little time. You have to wait till some of the dust settles on these stories in order to give them accurate coverage. And the other thing that's really missing in the media landscape is covering the articles that are coming out every day. That's great. That's necessary. But who's bringing in contextual history so that you can understand what has been going on for decades and decades to lead up to the machinations and actions that we see unfolding today? So what we do here on the podcast is we cover current events. Many of these things are censored, but we wait about a week. As a forensic historian, I focused mainly through my career on the history of globalism and collectivism and things that they call maybe the New World Order. There's a lot of facts to these sort of circumstances, groups, events, activities, working groups that they've had over time. So for Grand Theft World listeners, we not only break down the current events, most of which that are censored during the week, we provide you with contextual history, we give you the source notes, the references, we do deep dives, and this really empowers you with an understanding of context and history so that you can make more informed decisions in your life. There's also a community, a membership where you guys can actually ask questions and we can get into the show and we can share evidence. And there's a town hall weekly for Grand Theft World for those who listen to it and are interested in covering the stories that we don't get to during a 6-hour show. Listening to it an hour a day, you could easily consume the week's news, but you're going to have substance and meaning and context and understanding. And with that, you can make higher quality decisions in your life. So if you're interested in more quality in your life, go to grandtheftworld.com, click podcast at the top, and we'll see you there. Thank you.
These allegations are false.
This isn't Grand Theft Auto, folks. This isn't a video game.
What are the most surprising things that you discovered once you started pulling on that thread? Who he was connected to, what institutions he was influential over, what events he participated in?
Come on, man. What are we talking about? Come on, man. Oh.
You don't have to think about it, dude.
I got this quote because you said you didn't know much about Klaus Schwab. I made it my job to, as soon as this happened, I'm like, okay, this guy's their front man. Let me learn about the official history of the World Economic Forum. I got their 40-year history. I got every book that Klaus Schwab has written or ghostwritten. I went through those books. This is one of the most interesting passages.
Come on, man. Come on.